So let's start with Francesca. How would you suggest a man? What does a man have to do in order to get a woman to submit?
Um, uh, to show leadership. We've had this conversation many times. To show leadership. I feel like I can submit to a man if I feel comfortable enough to. Like if I can trust that he'll lead. Yeah,
So
I have to be okay with being vulnerable.
you say you have a problem with being vulnerable?
No, I said I would have to feel okay with being vulnerable. So if I meet a guy, I'm not just gonna open up to him because, well, I don't know you. But if he shows like, hey, you can trust me, I could do this for you, I'll be there for you, etc., it makes it easier to submit to a guy.
Got you.
But again, your definition of submit is
Respectful cooperation. Well,
okay.
and also willingness to be led.
Hmm.
Okay.
Angie, what about you?
For me, he'll have to show that he's capable of being vulnerable. Like, and leadership will come second, but I want him to show me that. I mean, and this is because of my past experiences. I would like him to show me that he's okay with being vulnerable and he trusts me with his vulnerability, and then like therefore giving me the space to then also be vulnerable because I'm capable, but I just don't want to continue showing that vulnerability and have it like taken advantage of, like, and him thinking he can, like, just solely because he's a great leader. Because there are men that are great leaders but don't know how to be vulnerable and just have conversations about their feelings and say like, hey, this bothered me, or whatever the case is. But
You
I
want
want
him to be able to open up to you?
I want him to be able to open up, yeah, be open about his emotions. And when he's open about his emotions, like where I'm saying that he can trust me, is like, okay. Like now I'm saying he can lead, is like, okay.
You you
Now,
think you think opening up is a trait of a good leader?
um,
Take your time.
I think being to an extent transparent is
Okay.
a characteristic of a good leader,
Okay.
because the thing is that you, like, if we you're leading, so we have to trust you, for like, we have to give you trust. However, like, I need that energy reciprocated. Like, what
Okay.
am, like, trust me, like, I'm, you know
Got you. So what about you, Dora? How does a man get a woman to submit, or what would you suggest?
Um, for me, he has to protect me. I have to feel 100% safe in any situation. So if we were somewhere and something were going crazy, he's not running off and leaving me behind. He's where's my girl? He's making sure that I'm safe
right,
first. So the first thing is I have to feel safe. I have to feel like nobody can touch me when I'm with you. That's how
right.
I gotta feel. I gotta feel like nobody can touch me. And it's not even about being big or having a gun. It's not even that. It's just his mindset. I know if a situation were to arise, he's gonna handle it accordingly to where we're both safe and it's not gonna escalate to something even crazier. So first he would have to make sure that I feel safe, because if I feel safe, I feel soft, I feel feminine, I feel vulnerable, I feel open, I feel
Right.
like I'm floating. Like nothing's gonna, no matter what I say or do, he's not going anywhere. He's right here. He's cool. I'm cool. He's cool. And then he has to provide. He has to provide because in order for me to submit to you 100%, I have to be able to be a woman 100%. And I can't be a strong, independent woman and be a submissive woman at the same time. It just doesn't. It doesn't work because strong, independent women, they don't want to submit. They
I
don't want
can't
to
snap, but
they don't want to. I mean, I never understood
I
it
think
because it's
independent
like
women can submit.
who?
I feel like
men.
independent women can submit. No.
Independent women. It's hard to be an independent woman and 100% be submissive. Like
Because you
it's
gotta
it's
work. You got to
It's
do this,
valid.
you got to do that.
Yeah,
And to
it's
be a
just like
submissive woman, you
if
can't
I'm
cater to your man.
if I'm busting my ass with my 9 to 5 and I'm paying like half of these bills or more, like, or not, if I like for example, I grew up, my parents are
If you're
very
just
traditional.
stressing, period. If you're just
Right.
stressing, that's it. If
And
you're just stressing.
If I'm stressing and I'm handling, yeah, because I was gonna say, if I'm handling my own stress, you're supposed to handle your own stress. But if I'm just, yeah, Dora, if I'm
Yeah,
stressed,
like if you can handle your own stress, but it's like you're right above water, you know? And I feel like it's his job to like actually pull me just a little bit more so I can help you get more farther than where you want to go. I'm here for you. I want to help you achieve all your goals, but I can't do that if I'm swimming under whatever it is I'm going through. So,
yeah,
and I'm not asking to be taken care of 100% like a child. No, I will pull my part. I just need to be able to know that your part is a little bit bigger because you're the man, you're the leader. You're supposed to be taking care of me. I just want to contribute. I don't want it to be all depending on me.
right. I agree.
Interesting.
A comment, Francesca?
I feel like I disagree. I feel like in a relationship, the man can work and the woman can work also. And I feel like they can both cater to each other and tend to each other. I know growing up, both my parents were working. Sometimes both of them was working multiple jobs at once. But I would still see my mother wake up. Like if my dad has work at 6, she'll get up at 5, prepare his food for him, his lunch and everything, probably go back to sleep for an hour or two, wake up, go to work. They come back. My mom will have dinner. Or if my mom's working both jobs that day, my father will make dinner after coming home from work. Yeah, they were both always tired, but I feel like they both helped each other handle each other's stress and stuff, if that makes sense. I feel like you could be independent. Well, not independent in the sense of like, I don't need nobody, but like you could still hold your own, but still help. So,
well, that's interdependency is what I think a lot of women probably would be more towards comfortable with being like, I can have a business. I own a business. Maybe it's online or something that, you know, where I don't have to leave the home. I can stay home. That way I can tend to the kids. I can keep the house clean. I can make sure everybody's eating good because I don't want anybody else raising my child. I don't want this daycares. I don't know what's going on. No. My daughter's 13, never been to daycare. I have always been the only one watching her. Like nobody's doing that. But where was I?
Interdependency.
Yes, interdependency. So with that being said, you can have a business, right? And your little business, you probably bring in maybe $2,000-$3,000 a month. It might not be a lot, but it's something. He could be using that towards investments or your guys' vacations or something, you know, big major purchases, while all his money goes towards all the bills and all that good stuff. But interdependent just means like he's still taking care of everything. You still do your part. And if he were to leave, you're going to be fine. You're not going to be completely lost and like just stuck. You're going to be just fine. It's just an addition.
That actually it brings me, I heard the audio cast or like the podcast you had, the 12 things. Yeah, and it was funny. I think that was like number 5 where like, thank you, because right now you brought me back. I was listening to 5 when you had mentioned that women should give the men all their finances. And it when you explain it this way, it's like that's interdependency.
A bit more sense.
Right.
I'm not saying like you give your man a whole paycheck and he's buying shoes or Gucci or like buying other females something. No. I'm saying like anything I bring in, I'm just putting it to a better foundation for us. And also that comes back to trust. I have to trust them with my money. Right. That's another way I can submit to you. If I don't trust you with my money, I'm not going to give it to you because I don't know what you're doing with it. That's not going to happen. But if I trust you with it, you can have it all. Just whenever I need something, I have to be able to, I need this, babe. And there shouldn't be any, I gotta, no. There's no, because I know what I'm bringing. And also, I would rather work for my man than work for Amazon or some white corporation. I would rather work for him. That way he doesn't have to outsource. Everything's in our own household.
You're the best, Dora. Thank you so much. So why do you think there's so much conditional submission when it comes to women? And when I say conditional submission, a lot of women will say, well, I'll be submissive if. And You're either submissive or you're not. There's really no in between. You can't turn it off. There's no dial, in my opinion.
You're naturally feminine. It's just who we are. That's what makes us so beautiful, is how caring and how devoted and how vulnerable we're able to be. Yes, we're supportive. So submissive is, I think when they hear submissive, they hear slave. Like, he's just going to be going out doing whatever he wants to do, whenever he wants to do it. I'm going to be at home cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and not living my life. But I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, if you really think about it, is that really a bad thing? I personally don't mind staying in the house and growing my own food and smoking weed, drinking water, drinking tea, reading books, watching movies, taking care of my child, while he goes out there and makes money and deals with traffic and all the headaches of life out there. I'd rather him go do all that because he's the tough one. He's the strength. He's the man. He's supposed to do all that. I'm supposed to feel protected in my little bubble. I don't want to deal with all that shit, but it is what it is.
Kudos to you, Dora, because that's something that's kind of hard to admit, like, that you want as a woman, like that you're okay with that, because it's like we're taught, especially like as women of color, like you have to be independent, you have to work, like don't ever let the man feel like he's more, because then he can do X, Y, and Z, and make sure you're educated and you have your own money. And
but I think the most beautiful thing in the world is allowing a man to be a man, because if he's truly in his man space, his masculine energy, the feelings that he's going to give you, the love that he's going to give you is unmatched. It doesn't even amount to how much money and nails and jewelry and shoes. It doesn't even matter. Just, well, you girl, I'm going to turn you into a rug. It doesn't even matter about what you have or anything like that. The care for them, they protect you, just all that feels amazing. So there's nothing wrong with going out there and getting it on your own. It's just at the end of the day, we're not designed to be alone. We're supposed to be with somebody.
I think when a lot of women hear submission, they just feel like they're getting an unfair deal. Like he gets to go out there and do what he wants to do, and I just have to cater to him. So
recently, I thought submission. I would hear submission, and I thought taken advantage of automatically. It's like
I feel like that's why the conditional submission that you stated in the beginning does happen, because I feel like I've been in relationships where I put more effort, or I do this and that, and I just feel like I'm being used. So now it's like, okay, I feel like you're not doing what you need to be doing for me to even be going as hard as I'm going. So why should I continue doing? So I think that's why it's conditional.
Makes sense. Because when I was younger, I used to kind of do that. Like, I feel like in women, period, when we get into a relationship, we automatically just do more, because that's just naturally who we are. We want to make sure you eat. We're making sure you're wearing your seatbelt. We're making sure you're doing all these little tiny little things. And men don't necessarily register all those little things that they do for you. So you always feel like, damn, am I doing too much? Like, is he even appreciative? But sometimes you just got to give them a little patience, a little time. They do show you. But if you ever feel like you are taking advantage of, then definitely I would recommend leaving. But don't ever feel bad about being that beautiful woman that does all those things, because that's who you are. At the end of the day, he's going to regret it, because then he's going to be like, damn, I had a girl that used to make sure I ate. She used to make sure that I had my seatbelt on. She used to make sure I did all this. And now she's no longer around because I don't know how to say thank you and I appreciate you. He's going to live with that. You're going to be just fine, because you know you did everything that you were supposed to do.
They say, I read a post the other day that said the grass is greener where you water it. Exactly. And that, that's deep, because it's like, you're showing him what you want. You're showing him what you're looking for. And it's like, if you're not reciprocating that, it's like, don't let that, don't internalize it and
make tumbleweeds out there.
Yeah, don't make it like, and it's easier said than done. I will say, like, not letting it make you bitter or internalizing it, because I did internalize a lot of the way that men would behave towards me as like while I was growing up. But then I feel like with time you learn that it's like okay, I'm not gonna, like, when you start coming into like really owning your feminine energy and like falling in love with it, is like okay, well, I'm me and this is what I have to offer.
Do you think the women of today even know how to be submissive, Francesca?
I do. think that they do. I just don't think that they're comfortable doing it for just any man. Like I said before, I feel like sometimes women might start off doing something and a man will show them like they don't deserve it. So there's that. Also, I feel like, and I only recently started feeling like this because before I wasn't really on TikTok. Then I got on TikTok and I noticed that, okay, a lot of women kind of just feel entitled to certain things when it comes to dating or just stuff like that. And one of the posts I had seen, it was a man screenshot actually, and he had slid up on this girl's DMs, and he was very nice about it. Like he wanted to take her out and everything. And hello, I'm sorry, I don't know what that was, but he wanted to take her out and everything. And she was like, okay, before you could do that, you need to pay for my outfit, for my hair, for my nails, all of this. And this is a woman that
the first date. Wow.
He does not even know her. Like he just wants to take her out, and she's like stating all the things that she wants. And I'm just like, wow. And before I didn't believe that a lot of women were like that. I guess I just refused to, because I do see a lot of women doing a lot for men. So after getting on TikTok and seeing all of that, then yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. She didn't want to go out and date with him at all. So she was trying to make a scenario to make it impossible for him to take her out. That's
probably.
That's crazy though.
That is crazy.
First date.
But I feel like we do live in a culture where it's like, if you want to date me, you got to be able to afford me, you got to be able to do this.
Extra stuff. All the extra stuff that's not even necessary. Like at the end of the day, he's not going to care about the wig or the lashes or the nails or anything. If you're looking for an actual relationship, none of that shit's going to matter.
A lot of women feel like providing is providing a lifestyle of luxury and abundance. There's an in-between, like between middle class, but the vast majority of people are middle class. There's only a small group of men or people on the face of the earth who can provide luxury. So
okay, so I have a question. So if well, not for you guys, but if you guys were dating a man and say he is middle class and stuff, but say you are into more luxurious type of lifestyle, and say you did get offered a job and you would make more than him, would you guys be okay with taking that job, or would you rather not?
I'm a minimalist, so the whole luxury, as long as I can eat, breathe, and sleep and shower, I'm pretty much good. But if I'm already in that lifestyle, I have to be able to maintain it myself without him first, because that's the lifestyle that I want. So I have to find somebody on that same level. But if he was okay with me taking it and it wouldn't cause a rift, I would take it. Why not? It's more money.
I have a question, Dora. So the last guy that you were with, did he make more money than you?
No.
Interesting. Wow. Shouts to you, Dora.
It's actually maybe two people that have ever actually been in a serious relationship have made more than me. I've noticed lately that I've been dating for the last couple years. Like it's kind of either neck and neck, or I make a little bit more. But again, that's just because I have a kid to provide for, and I have things that I have to, I got to eat and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's another issue for another day.
So same question to you, Angie. Would you be able to, what was the question, Francesca? You said, would you be able to date a man who makes less than him, basically?
Yeah, so if he was working, but you wanted a more luxurious lifestyle and you did get a job offer, they wanted to hire you, you'd be making enough to basically maintain that luxurious lifestyle, or, get into that luxurious lifestyle. Would you take that job?
Yeah, I would take the job. I want my responses to be more original, but it's like, I have to agree with Dora. It's like, I'm very simple. Like, I like being comfortable. Like every now and then I like to dress up, and something like my lashes, I like my nails done and stuff like that. But those are all things that I can keep up with. If I wanted a more luxurious life.
Honestly, I think if you're with a man that cares about you, he would want you to take the job. Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he'd be supportive. He would, like, yeah.
So, Dora, what do you think is the biggest reason why men want submission?
Well, you got to find out what they feel like submission is first, because I think a lot of men think it's supposed to be just a woman doing whatever they want for him, and those are the men we got to stay away from. So first, we got to find a man that even understands what submission is before we can even talk about it. Because if he's immediately, oh, you're gonna be staying at the house, cooking and cleaning, and no, that's not.
There was this guy
buddy.
I went to college with that he used to stay blurring out like, oh, I liked it better when women were forced to shut up or something like that. And it's just like
so deep.
Like, bro, relax, okay? Like,
right.
We got it. So for the men that understand submission, I feel like they deserve it. They're worthy of it, but they have to understand it, and they have to be able to tell me what it looks like to them first.
Got you. So same question to you, Francesca. What do you think is the biggest reason why some men want submission?
Well, like you men like to post, like, be my peace. So I guess it's that they just want a stress-free environment. I feel like, well, in a relationship, there shouldn't be a lot of aggression, stress, regardless. Like in your podcast, I didn't get to finish listening to the second one, but you did mention one of them, how when there's disagreements and stuff, you wouldn't like to yell, or you don't really want to be aggressive with it. It's something that you guys should figure out.
Be able to just sit down and talk, or if anything, wait.
Exactly.
Give that space, that time. Just don't even talk to each other, because right now your thoughts are all over the place. You're probably going to say some shit you don't mean, or you don't really take seriously. So I always feel like as soon as you feel that bubble, you know, that heat rising, when you're starting to get, that's that moment to take the step back, pause, and go away. That way you can kind of sort it all out. And then when you come to him, you guys can have a dignified conversation where there's no arguing, there's no fighting, there's no yelling, there's no stress, and it gets resolved.
Exactly. So I think that's what men like. Like, they don't want the argument, they don't want the aggression or any of that.
They don't want to be held accountable.
So what do you what do you think is the biggest reason men want a submissive woman, Angie?
Because they don't want to be held accountable.
Okay. Do you care to expand on that, or you just
like they just wanna like, for example, that guy that would say, like, that he preferred when women had to shut up, like he was sleeping on the job. There's a lot of stuff that he would do that is just like, when you told him about himself, like, he wouldn't want to hear it. Like, he just thought he was it, and it's like.
And you think that's the main reason?
I don't think that's the main reason, but that's like, you're asking me a question off the top of my head, like.
Interesting. So, Francesca, what's wrong with being a pick-me?
Can you define pick-me?
That's a funny.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know.
Because I get called a pick-me like 50 times a day.
So how would you define pick-me?
So as far as what I'm taking from it is, a pick-me is a woman who puts down other women in front of men to get their appraisal, is what I was told a pick-me is. But it's funny when they call me that, because I've never disrespected Black women, not one time. I don't never put anybody down to promote, being an advocate for Black men, not one time. So I think it's just, they think it's a nasty term, but I actually don't mind being called a pick-me, because it just means that I love my Black men enough to the point where I'm not quiet about it. So
pick-me's get picked, so I don't see how that would be a bad thing.
I'm saying though, like, I don't understand. I think it's just it might be an insecurity, maybe their own, like they can't be as vulnerable as the girl that is being vulnerable. So maybe that might be an issue. But
as I was listening to your first audio, I was like, I kept smiling through it, because I saw my growth. Like as I was listening, there was like, I was agreeing with damn near every point. Like I was even the like, like there was just some things that I was fighting, like for example, giving him the check. All of a sudden I wanted to get ignorant for a couple seconds and be like, wait, you mean like actually give him a check, when I know that it makes sense to, like, work for your
when
man.
you have context behind it, it kind of like,
Right.
okay, it makes sense now.
And then one of the things that I was telling Glass as I was listening, it was like, I really love like, I wouldn't call you a pick me because like you're doing your thing. You're doing, is that called a podcast? Would that be considered a podcast?
Yeah, podcast, I guess.
You're doing your own podcast, and you're it's titled Logical Pussy. Right? And I love that because it kind of gives you an introduction to the kind of things you're going to hear. Like, I'm not here to babysit emotions, and it's not that you don't understand mental health. It's just that that's not what your podcast is about. You're telling it how it is. But a lot of people, and where I go back to where I'm saying that I was smiling through it, because now I'm able to listen and hear the logic and understand, like, that's true. However, had it been me about a year ago, I probably would have
like, you don't even know what the fuck she's talking about.
And she don't know what she's talking about. She don't understand. Like, you know, some days you unmotivated and you don't want to get pretty and you don't want to get girly. And like, she don't understand. Like, a lot of people, if you have not gone through that journey of healing yourself, your inner child, your traumas and stuff like that, and you're able to like listen to logic, then I would see how somebody, I guess, would try to call you like, oh, you're putting me down because you want all everybody on your body. But I don't think that's the case. Like, good podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
I looked at the definition of pick me and they have it here. Someone who is a pick me is someone that deliberately exhibits behavior that attempts to appease others. And on Urban Dictionary, a person who begs for attention, acceptance, and approval of a certain group in different things they say.
That's sad because they only call Black women pick-me's. They don't never say it or apply that, because that could be, if that's the definition, that can be applied to anything. To if you like specific type of music and you talk shit about other music, they could be calling you a pick-me for that music. Like, that could go for anything. That whole pick-me thing is just retarded.
That's interesting. Pick me is really used for women a lot, mostly.
Yeah, mostly Black women. I don't never hear white women calling other white women, "Hey, you're a pick me." Like, I don't see that.
Could it be possibly that Black women value their independence more than any other race?
Absolutely.
I agree.
They had no choice. So it leaves a mark on us. You know, even myself, who I claim to be a very submissive person, I have my moments. I can do it, just to prove that I can do it. But it's
I think in the Latino
out of that.
In the Latin culture, I've never heard like the term pick me. But there's other words used for that.
Like what?
Like lambona.
What does that mean?
Lambona means just someone who's like I don't know, like I feel like the Latin culture is really vulgar, so it's just like any girl that's being cool with the guy
way too hard to like, you know, the girl that, all I do is hang out with guys and I only understand guys and I only want to be with guys. It's like, you're only doing that because you want all these guys on you. You want them to be like, oh, she's this, she's that, she's so cool. Yeah.
Or it'll be a situation like not a lot of girls, like for example, at least uptown, I feel that not a lot of girls know how to have a conversation past the surface level. Like their conversations are very surface based, and it's like they don't know how to, in like other than asking for money for some lashes or some dinner, or no, because you have to treat me this way or something of that sort, is like they're not having conversations. So they're boring. So it's like just if you're in a crowd and there's a crowd of 8 and you're having the 2 guys' attention by just carrying a conversation, right away is like a side eye, like
well, I think it's also the conversation they're having too, because if she's like talking about sex all the time with guys, I think that would be kind of like, okay, girl, you're doing too, like you're only talking about, you're doing too much, like that's all you're doing. But any other subject should be okay. But if they're also going out of their way all the time, every time y'all go somewhere to talk to guys, like, okay, you're doing too much, baby. Like, come on now. Like, your life is like surrounded by just, where's the next dick that I'm gonna sit on? That's all you're thinking about. Just nasty business.
I guess it depends on where you define that line is from, being submissive and being a pick me or doing too much.
Mm.
But I guess we all define that line differently.
Yeah, but you feel it. Everybody can, but you feel when you doing too much first before anybody else sees it, because you gonna ask yourself, I shouldn't probably be doing this, and then you're gonna just do it anyway.
Got you. So, Dora, what are some of the best ways to be submissive to your spouse?
Best ways.
Yes, girl.
The number. I think the top way is I always gotta sound cliche with peace, but I don't mean as far as like being quiet. I just mean like, if you know your man had a hard day and he's coming home, the last thing he probably wants to hear is what you did. Don't take it personal. He cares. He's gonna want to know. It's just at this moment he's de-stressing from his day. So when he's coming home, that's probably the most important time where the house should be the quietest. The kids should be settled somewhere. The house should be clean. You should be probably just doing something on your own to where he can just decompress. And then eventually he'll open up and you guys will be good. But I think that's the main thing. Also, just I'm a very apprehensive person. Like I pay attention to little things. So if I know you went and got something to eat and you didn't get your drink, I'm already on it because I pay attention to little things like that. But it's all defined between you guys. You guys got to sit down and figure out, what it is that you want, what you're willing to do, what you're willing not to do, and find somebody that agrees with it.
Mm-hmm. Based off of what you said, I just want to bring a point up because I did not know that was submission until I listened to your podcast. Like, oh, if somebody likes this, you should get it for them. I did not know that was submission. I feel like a lot of women don't, and that goes into like when men say submit, they don't automatically think things like that. They more so think, when I'm home, like clean house, leave me alone, stuff like that. But like little things that you mentioned, like that.
Sex going to.
Exactly. I feel like that's the first thing women go to when they hear submit versus, all right, just pay a little bit more attention to me and show me that you do pay attention to me and you do listen, you do care. So that was cool. I didn't know that.
So overall, creating a relaxing environment for him is probably the best way.
Yeah, because black men strive when they're in a good environment. They strive. If he's not stressed about you and you ha 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 and rah 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 all the time, he can actually focus on improvements. He could pick up a trade or a skill, build your ass a fucking theater in the house or some random shit because he's bored, because he's not stressed. He's not worried. And then now he's thinking, I need to give her something crazy because she is amazing. And that's where that love from them comes tenfold. They always say happy wife, happy life. I really think it's happy husband, happy home, because if he's good, he's going to make sure that you don't need anything, you don't want for nothing, and he's eating it every single night like it's his last meal.
God bless you, Dora. God bless you.
Yeah. He's trying. I'm being hard-headed though, but he's trying. I'm mad hard-headed.
Yeah, a lot of women are. Any other comments, guys?
No, not really. I feel like not all men are like that though.
You had to say it. You were fighting it. I saw you.
Yeah. That's right,
though. Not all men are. It's a small handful of men that deserves the type of level of submission I'm talking about. It's a very small. But I think there's a lot of men that if they had just a sneak of it, maybe just a view of it, then they would be like, you know what? I need to get on that level of those type of men so I can get that type of submission. So you can submit to somebody at the bottom if you guys are building together and getting up to the top, or you can submit to somebody who's already there. It just depends on if you feel like that man is everything that he should be for you, not for anybody else. For you, not who you could show off on the internet. For you, that person, for you, exactly.
I think we're all choosing the wrong people. I think women submit to the wrong man and they never want to submit again. And then men are choosing the wrong women and they're saying there's no submissive women out here. So I think we're all.
That's because people aren't being themselves. They're not being 100% themselves. They're not going in they're going in perfect. When you meet somebody, they're always my dad used to say it's a representative. the person you meet. That's the representative. That's the person that's going to show up. That's going to be perfect. They're going to open doors. They're going to smile. They're going to do all the good stuff to make you like them. And then after a while, their true colors and their true passions of how they really feel come out. And then you're, oh, I don't even like you. Like, that's how you feel? I think this ain't gonna work.
I think that's the reason why I earlier had mentioned, like, being able to be vulnerable was something that I look for in a man, because it's like, I want him to protect me. I want him, like, that was a really good point. Like, I want to feel protected. Like, for sure, I want to feel secured. However, if that's all you showing me, is like, I know there's a soft side. Like, I know, like, I know there's a part of you that wants to be sad sometimes. Like, let me see that. Like, so.
Got you. Anything else, Francesca, or?
No, that's it. I just feel like women want to be loved too. Like,
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. Well, that is all. Subscribe and stuff.